There's a woman that died just over there on the telephone post last year. Just died.
So it's rough here.
It is fucking rough here.
It's the young kids today.
Really?
It's really turning to a big difference in the sense of violence. And it's not something that I want to be around or my kids.
And we don't want to leave. That's the ultimate end goal here is to leave.
It's one of the worst cities in North America because the money that funnels into these places is pretty much embezzled by a lot of the people that run these places.
What kind of places are those?
They're like native addiction places.
So would you say that walking past, say, 7 p.m. along Main Street, or maybe even in your neighborhood, is it dangerous?
During the day in my neighborhood actually can be unsafe. He was 6 foot tall, 16 years old. He came up with a hammered me in the eye, and I had my eyeball hanging out.
Winnipeg, the gateway to the West, the hometown of Louis Riel, and now Canada's most violent city. The city of Winnipeg has a violent crime rate of 675 violent crimes per 100,000 people. That is more than twice the national average of 262. Now, these are not petty crimes and white-collar crimes. This is the real deal, defined as murder, as assault, and as robbery. Just take a look at this graphic and look at where Winnipeg is, way at the bottom of the page, leading the rest of the pack, and it's not even close. But that doesn't tell the whole story either. The data you're looking at is from 2022. Since then, according to the Winnipeg Police, violent crime has decreased, at least in 2024, from a record year in 2023. 2024 was the first genuine decrease of violent crime seen in Winnipeg over the last decade. Homicides, assaults with a weapon, and aggravated assaults all decreased. Meanwhile, sexual assaults involving a weapon increased in this city by 75%. I have to say, Winnipeg is a lovely city. I'm standing here at the Forks beside the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Most of the crime, however, happens in Winnipeg's inner city. And most reports have found that Winnipeg's inner city is one of the poorest regions in the entire country. According to the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives, close to a quarter of all inner city residents live in affordable housing, and close to 1/3 of youth living in the inner city are living below the poverty line. So the inner city is drastically underperforming in those societal and economic metrics from the rest of the city. So it's no surprise that crime is most prevalent in that area. So I'm here to figure out why Winnipeg is so violent, to ask locals if they feel safe in this city, and to speak to local community experts on the ground who are trying to make this city safer every day.
But you know, this area, you don't go over there.
Don't go? Why? What's
Lots of people stolen.
Really?
Yeah, be careful here, be careful.
Do you feel safe in Winnipeg?
It's a little bit not very well.
And how long have you been in Winnipeg for?
I come in to February 12, 2016. I live 8 years and 6 months.
Has the city changed since you've been here?
Sorry?
Has the city changed? Has it changed?
Yeah, it's changed. Yeah. Every year it's changed.
And you were just saying to not go that way because, you know...
Because you have lots of people here stolen here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stealing stuff
Stolen, and lots of people hurt the people here. And he's what be careful from here.
I feel safe where I walk around and where I know it's safe, yeah.
Has the city changed a lot? How long have you been here?
Changed, I've been here for about 32 years.
Wow. It's changed a lot?
Changed a lot, yeah.
There was a report that said Winnipeg is the most violent city in Canada. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah.
Where is the city most dangerous?
Along this strip, all the way down to Selkirk, all the way down Selkirk to McPhillips, and on Mountain, and Mountain's the core area where everything goes down on Magnus side.
Why do you think it has gotten this way, in your opinion?
For the drugs, the addictions that people are selling them to. or something like that.
Do you feel safe in Winnipeg?
For the most part, yes. Yeah, I mean, I've been living in this area for a while, so my opinion would be a lot different from people from the urban areas because I'm used to the crowd that's around here and I know half of them. I don't remember it being the homelessness. I don't remember it being so. I didn't notice that there was so much homelessness before COVID.
Do you feel safe in Winnipeg?
So. My area safe, yes. Because I live in area River Hines. Main Street, so maybe in evening, no safe.
Yeah. Do you feel safe in this city?
Nope.
No? Nope. Okay. Take it easy, man.
There's a woman that died just over there on the telephone post last year. Just died.
So it's rough here.
It is fucking rough here. If you don't give up, Main Street will take you. Main Street will fucking take what you have and play it.
Do you feel safe in Winnipeg?
Fuck no.
What kind of crime do you see here that makes it dangerous?
A lot of theft and jacking.
Theft, murder.
Murders?
Murder, drugs.
Who do you guys find is doing a lot of that?
Pretty much, you wouldn't be surprised, but anybody and everybody you wouldn't think that would be.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've been walking down Main Street in downtown Winnipeg, and I gotta say, it's really sketchy. And I definitely understand why people told me, be careful, you might lose your camera, you might lose your equipment. It is very strange. I've seen some rough places in Canada. This is really rough. I don't want to sound hyperbolic. It will be easy to do that, but I'm being genuinely serious. It's really rough, really poor. The visible signs of homelessness and drug addiction are everywhere. It is overwhelmingly Indigenous, which is just striking, especially for me. I live in Toronto. I don't see a lot of Indigenous people anyway. And Winnipeg obviously has a large population of Indigenous people, but when you're walking down Main Street, seeing the people that are on the street in tents by shelter facilities, it is predominantly Indigenous, and it is striking to see. Another weird thing about Winnipeg is the architecture in the city is amazing. Some beautiful buildings, a real boom and bust town, but half the buildings are completely empty. Just abandoned or left empty. They've got boards up on the windows. It's a very bizarre thing to see. But so far, it's tough to see. It really is that this is Canada. This is one of the roughest cities I've seen, and it's in Canada. I'm here with Daryl Warren. We're driving around Winnipeg. He's the president of the William White Residents Association. Neighborhood Association.
Sorry.
No problem. And well, the first question I have for you is, I saw from the Winnipeg police data that your neighborhood has the highest violent crime score. What's going on with that?
Well, basically, it's low-income people. What do you call it? So a lot of this is a combination of drugs. Drugs is the biggest, and so in order to get the drugs, they steal and they rob people, and they're willing to stick a knife in you to go ahead and get your cash. So
wow. As I was walking through, along Main Street up north of the tracks towards your neighborhood, I couldn't help but notice a lot of the people that are homeless are Indigenous.
Yes.
What's going on with that? Because, in Toronto at least, you just don't even see that many to begin with. So how is it like that? Because it's impossible to ignore.
Well, here we unfortunately have a large population of native, a lot of reservations around Winnipeg and surrounding areas. So a lot of them want to leave the reserves and come to Winnipeg because this is a big city, right? And there's nothing on the reserve for these indigenous people to go ahead and do. So they go ahead and what do you call it? They come to the big city because they want to have more things to do. So
now we are on Main Street.
Yes.
And this is where the problems really seem quite
Yes.
severe.
Yes. So basically, you see the changes.
Right.
So I always tell people that basically from Logan and Main, which is the next light we're going to stop at.
Okay.
Basically from Logan and Main north, that's where it gets bad.
Right. What about services for young people in this area, and I guess really more broadly in the sort of the most hard-hit parts of Winnipeg? What kind of programs are there for young people to help them avoid being, finding themselves in a rough situation?
Well, the thing that I find is in the poor areas like this, where people don't have money to pay for programming and to get programming for their kids, the city and the province does hardly anything.
Right.
Okay, so if you're a kid growing up in this neighborhood, you're not probably going to be playing basketball, you're not going to be playing baseball or football or any of the sports. That's what we need to do, is invest some money here. In the suburbs of the north, or of Winnipeg here, there's a lot of big community centers, and they're big because because there's money there, and the people can afford to pay for the program. Here in my neighborhood, they can't afford, okay, because most of them are on social assistance. A lot of the people that have kids in this area are on social assistance. Therefore, it's food, rent, and take care of the kids.
Right.
And there's no money left for anything like, don't even think about playing hockey or anything like that.
So when I made a quick video telling my audience that I was doing a sort of a documentary on crime in Winnipeg.
Sure.
And a lot of the comments were saying, you have to talk about who is committing the crimes. And they were pointing towards the indigenous population. Now, I don't want to make that conclusion. I don't have the data. I haven't seen it. But regardless of that, from what you've seen, who is responsible for the crime?
Well, I would say it's a mixture.
Right.
It's white and natives. Unfortunately, our jails here in Manitoba and our prisons are full of a native population.
Right.
Like, it's probably, like, if I had to guess, it's probably 80% native in the jails and the prisons here compared to the whites. So
wow.
It's high.
Yeah.
But I don't believe, and I don't want to make fault, yes, there is a lot of natives creating the crime and doing the crime, but there's also a lot of white people too.
Why have you decided to stay in the neighborhood for so long and not move to a safer place?
No, it's I've lived in the North End here for 65 years now, and there's been times I thought about it.
Yep.
My family always tells me I should leave, go somewhere safer where I don't have to deal with all this stuff. But the way I look at it is, like, if I leave, then who's going to take over? And then what's going to happen? So this is a new house we're building, actually, in the neighborhood here.
Yep.
And I'm working with the organization. It's called Purpose Homes. And they're a non-profit home builder, and they're building this house here. But as you can see, like, around us, there's vacant lots.
Yeah.
And then I'll just show you right across the street, pretty much. This was a house that burned, and this pile of rubble has sat here for, like, all going on 4 years now.
It's just sat there for 4 years?
For 4 years, just like this.
What's the reason why they haven't gone and cleaned it up?
Because somebody owns this particular lot, and what do you call it? And for some reason, They're not cleaning it up. I'm working with the city of Winnipeg to make those bylaws now a lot stronger so they have more bite.
Yep.
And you won't be able to do this type of stuff.
Right.
Because I had a lot in my area that sat for 7 years, very similar to this.
So I read that you were involved in a meeting a few years ago about the number of burnt homes in your neighborhood, and you were saying that somebody was doing it. You think someone so there were arsons in the neighborhood?
Yes.
Wow.
I think some of them. See, the thing is in the wintertime, some of these boarded up houses, they get broken into because homeless people want to keep warm. So maybe they light a fire and it gets out of hand. But all these fires we experienced in my neighborhood, I believe majority of them are arson, because they'll happen in the summertime, wintertime. You know, like some of them are, like I say, the homeless people going in and doing this, but I don't believe it's all homelessness. And this site here, this is where we work out of.
Okay.
Okay, so this is called Pritchard Park, and basically we work out of here. We run kids programs out of here.
Yeah.
All our programs are free. Okay?
Yeah.
So I've got a skate program where I got 150 pairs of skate in the building in the wintertime, and the kids can come here, sign up, and they can sign themselves out of a pair of skates, and in that fenced area I have a skating rink, and they can go out there and we'll help them learn how to skate and stuff like that in the winter. In the summertime we do basketball training with the kids to hopefully teach them basketball. They might like it, and maybe there's a grant or something they can get to go on to bigger and better things like club sports or school sports or whatever. And we right now have a powwow program here that has been going the last 2 weeks, and basically because of the indigenous population here, what do you call it? These kids can get in touch with their roots, right?
Right.
So we've started a powwow club where they can learn their traditional native dancing, cooking, beading, and a bit of their language.
Wow.
And I'd like to tell you that my organization, our total budget, because we're all volunteers, nobody's paid, we're all volunteers, and what do you call it? We have a budget for everything for $22,000 a year.
Wow.
So we do phenomenal
doing a lot for a little.
Yes.
So before I head out, Daryl, I have the question I have for you is: Are you optimistic about the future of your city? Do you think that the city is headed in the right direction, or can get towards being in the right direction?
I do. I truly believe we can turn this around, but we gotta quit the political nonsense. It's common sense solutions. I come up with solutions every day to the problems that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
And it's a common sense approach. It doesn't have to be overthought. We don't need laws written for it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We can change things so quickly, but because the powers of to be go ahead and make it much more complicated than it has to be.
Right. All right, it's Saturday morning in Winnipeg. I'm walking north along Main Street, back into the heart of Winnipeg's inner city and to the north side of the city. I'm headed towards North Point Douglas neighborhood to go speak to a man named Sel Burrows, a local community activist who has spent decades volunteering his time to make his community safer. One of the things he established was it's called a power line. It's called Point Power Line. It allows residents to anonymously report violent crimes in their neighborhood, but to do so with the safety of anonymity, with the safety of their own home, to not be seen as a snitch. And I want to speak to him about the success of the Power Line program, why he is so committed to serving his community, and why after all these years he's decided to stay put in the neighborhood that is his home, but is obviously a very dangerous place. So let's see what we find on our way to North Point Douglas this morning. Yeah, exactly. It's interesting stuff in this city, man.
What's your podcast channel?
It's just on my YouTube channel.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Your YouTube channel.
Called Harrison Faulkner.
Harrison Faulkner?
Yeah.
Faulkner, like, okay, yeah. Faulkner, yeah.
Yeah, man. So,
well, I'm a clinical psychologist, right?
Oh, is that right?
Clinical psychology major.
Okay, so, I mean, you were just telling me you feel like this city is one of like the worst cities for drugs and addiction.
Yeah, it's one of the worst cities in North America because the money that funnels into these places is pretty much embezzled by a lot of the people that run these places.
What kind of places are those?
They're like native addiction places because the more money they cycle through them, the more they get from the government.
Wow.
So it's just the common statistics and algorithm for the government.
Interesting. Okay, so let me ask you this, because obviously from being here for the past 2 days, there's a lot of homeless indigenous people, natives.
Yeah.
Why is that, you think?
I think it's due to the residential school and certain stuff. There's a lot of trauma inside of certain indigenous communities and certain indigenous homes that still hasn't been resolved due to residential school and the 60s scoop, because a lot of these people have victims of cycles that repeat through their family.
Right. Are you walking this way, by the way? Yeah, I am as well, if you don't mind. I mean, what about for young indigenous youth? Like,
young indigenous?
Like, do they feel Canadian?
I don't know. I normally tell people I'm North American.
Right.
But I don't know.
Not Canadian.
Well, I don't know. I had a very troubled life. I grew up in, I was in and out of institutions, so I got into trouble a lot. A lot of the native kids that are in like the North End and Central, like West End, they all have families that are addicted to drugs, that are addicted to alcohol. So they feel like they have to get inside of certain victim cycles to try to live past the expectations that were set for them, even though they were so low.
Right. Now, what about crime? Because the reason I'm here is because I found a statistic that said Winnipeg is the most violent city in Canada.
It's been like that for the past 20 years.
Now, what's the kind of crime that's taking place here, and who's doing it?
The kind of crime is due to the drug epidemic and the meth epidemic. A lot of these people are drowning their brains in chemicals that aren't designed for your brain.
Right.
So when they start getting meth psychosis, a lot of the teenage children that have parents that deal with meth, they don't want to go home. So they stay on the street. And if a kid is on the street late at night, they're going to fall into victim circumstances or end up a victim and a product of their environment and circumstances.
What do you think needs to be done to fix these issues in the city?
We need more people that actually have real experience inside of these specific cycles that these kids grow up in. So if they had someone that was getting out of prison, but they really wanted to change their life, put them in a community center where they could actually learn about their emotions by helping younger people excel in school, sports, and other types of things that most children aren't in today.
And one more time before I let you go, you were saying that you're a clinical psychologist, or what kind of work do you do?
I'm a clinical psychologist. I go to the University of Manitoba. I'm trying to get my business minor, but I had a very rough upbringing. Like, I grew up a couple of blocks from here, But growing up there and having a father that drank, it was super bad because I kept getting into trouble, and the police that were actually coming to see me and picking me up, they never asked me what was wrong, like what the circumstances were. There was one police officer that actually said, okay, I'll go to my superiors and I'll try to help train you and channel your energy. But he almost got fired for that.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, obviously if these guys are just looking at us as statistics and something to actually get their quotas up for their arrest, then obviously they don't care about this neighborhood or the children in it.
Yeah, man. Look, I really appreciate the time. Thank you very much. All the best with the work that you're doing. The name is Harrison Faulkner. So if you see it on YouTube, it'll be about Winnipeg. So hopefully the video comes up on YouTube if you search up Winnipeg.
Okay.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. So that was an incredible interview, impromptu. I was walking around the tunnel. I was a little bit sketched out because somebody was walking behind me in a dark tunnel, but turns out to be a psychologist working on the street with Indigenous people, and gave me some great insight into the situation here. I've actually had a few interactions like that in this city. It shows you that people care, that people are not giving up hope, and that they want the city to be better. And so that was some impromptu, but really interesting, insightful analysis.
When I moved into this community 19 years ago, it had the highest crime rate of any neighborhood in Canada. And now it has the lowest crime rate of any inner city neighborhood.
Right.
Not, of any neighborhood. And Daryl's starting to work on William White. He's using our model.
And so just before we get into it, can you introduce yourself and explain what your role is in the volunteer work that you do?
Okay. My name's Sal Burrows. I'm coordinator of the Point Power Line, which is a community-based organization. All volunteers, nobody gets paid for anything. And many years ago when my wife and I moved into Point Douglas, we met a couple of other people. We recognized that there was a massive problem of drug dealers, of crime going on. And Sandy Zadzora, my late wife Chris, and I were sitting having a glass of homemade red wine, and Sandy said, well, we've got to do something. Chris said, okay, let's do it. And out of it came the concept of a phone number that people could phone, because we knew 99% of the people in the neighborhood were good people, but they just had no confidence that calling the police or calling some authority, anything would happen. I have a background. I used to be executive assistant to the Premier of Manitoba. I was assistant director of adult corrections for a while. I knew how the bureaucracy worked. I knew how the political system worked. So we ended up with 4 Indigenous elders that walked up and down the streets and that came by our house and say, hey, the effing so-and-sos are at such and such an address. Get them out of here, eh? And Terry Zadzora, from Peguis First Nation, longtime resident, teacher, said, our traditional culture was when people are harming our community, we banished them. Why don't we do something like that? And we came up with eviction. So we hardly used the criminal justice system at all. But what we had was hundreds of people in the community who said, we want to keep our community safe. And they would phone, and my late wife or I would answer the phone. In 15 years, we never had a crank call. Fridge magnet with our phone number on 500 fridges in the neighborhood. Wow. People wanted to get stuff done.
How has the policing and government strategy evolved over the years to address this issue?
It's up and down, okay?
Right.
Keith McCaskill became the chief of police in Winnipeg. Now that's going back 15 years ago or so. We had a working relationship with him that was spectacular. He and his wife and my wife and I would go for breakfast every 3-4 months, and exchange information. And we had a system in place that, well, I was actually involved in working with him, setting up what's called the Community Support Unit, small unit of police officers half beat cops and half regular police officers. They had cars, but their job was to know the community and to be able to stay a little longer, not just respond to 911 calls. Absolutely spectacular. We would have police officers coming and sitting at our kitchen table and strategizing together.
Wow.
Unfortunately, during the previous government we had and the present mayor, we've had austerity, and to cover off the increase in crime in the downtown, which is still way lower than the North End area, they moved half of the community support unit out to service the downtown. So basically, a community that has high Indigenous, high immigrant community, lost police officers to serve the area to protect the middle class who come downtown.
The election of Wab Kinew has had any impact for particularly young Indigenous people in this city and in the province to make them feel like, you know what, something like that is possible for me too?
Yeah.
Has that happened?
Yes, but it needs more.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's 2 years. They're doing some really good stuff, but there's so much more that needs to be done. The reason I got involved in the NDP many, many years ago was my concern about income inequality, poverty. And one of the things that we've done is the influence of American liberals, such that people think that funding more social agencies and stuff is the answer to poverty, where my observation is a bit different. If we want to do something about poverty, number one, we've got to make sure every kid's getting an education. We have 40,000 kids in Manitoba that are chronically absent.
Wow. How does that, do you know how that ranks up with the rest of the country?
It's one of the worst. Yeah. And the problem we have getting you off sidetrack, but
that's fine.
The same percentage, 20% chronic absenteeism in grade 1 as in grade 11. So the problem's not in the schools. And everybody wants to fix the schools. We'll make the schools more, accessible. The reality is we have homes that are dysfunctional. This is the house I lived in for 15 years.
Wow.
It used to be bright yellow.
Yeah.
And it used to
have
a
lovely house.
Yeah. And these trees, and you'll see more of them, my late wife and I planted them 17 years ago. We'd go down to the nursery at the end of the year. You could get them for $10 or something. And so I call them Chris's Forest.
I have to say, it doesn't feel that dangerous.
Let me tell you about this house right here.
Okay.
When we lived there, this house had the police visiting it. It wasn't this house, it was a broken down rooming house.
Right.
At least every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. It was the worst. The manager was also a prostitute and a crack dealer. Anyway, Gord fixed this place up. It's a beautiful duplex overlooking the river.
Absolutely.
There's 2 Indigenous families who've lived there. One's a foreman in a construction crew. The other is an emergency child and family foster home, or they were. I haven't talked to them recently. This street, Grove Street, used to be a major problem street. A few years back, we had 3 overdose deaths on this street alone. Now, I think we have maybe 1 problem house. They were more afraid of me than I was of them.
So, have you ever been, subjected to, I guess threats? I'm sure. What kind of things did you face when you were?
I gotta remember which eye. I have a Teflon plate with 5 little screws holding my eyeball in place. Early on, my next door neighbor was getting out of a gang and we were supporting him, and his gang showed up around his house. And so I went out and I had this was pre-cell phones, a little camera thing, and was taking pictures of this one guy. And he was on his bike and he grabbed my camera out of my hand. Well, I forgot then. You can tell how many years ago. I'm 81 now. I was 65 at the time. So he grabbed it. He turned on his bike. I grabbed him by the back of the neck, and his momentum on his bike flipped him off the bike.
Oh my
Well, you know, he was 6 foot tall, 16 years old. He came up with a hammered me in the eye, and I had my eyeball hanging out.
Oh my God.
And you know, the kid's dad came out, and I kept hold of him, the kid's dad, and I held on to this kid. It took 20 minutes for the police to come. Anyway, you know, healthcare system's fantastic. Big thing is North Point Douglas is basically a really healthy community with a few warts here and there. And what's needed is the city to back up the people who live here who want to make it a better place. We need better recreation. We've got a rec center, but there's no money for programs. We need teams. Every kid should be able to be on a team. Every girl should be able to belong to gymnastics. To join gymnastics, it's $300, and they got to leave the inner city and go to the suburbs. That's disgusting. There has to be decent programs. Secondly, we need people to work together. We need the police, the fire, by law enforcement, all of them. When we've got a problem house where everybody says, oh, that's a drug dealer, it's been going on for years, that house has to be dealt with. And we've got a multi-problem building committee of the city, but it's not functioning. Right. So much of having a healthy community means people are able to get jobs, earn a decent living, and feel safe. And Winnipeg needs real work on all of those.
We are here with conservative content creator Max Genet.
Hello.
And where are we right now?
We are in Portage Place in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in the downtown core. And this place is starting to resemble a homeless shelter.
Wow.
Yeah.
It looks like it was a nice mall before.
Oh, it totally was.
Like
back in like 1980.
Damn. But it's a Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
And it's empty here, which is, well, it's sort of empty. It's like mostly homeless people. It's bizarre. So, in your opinion, you've lived here for a few years, quite a few years.
Yes.
What has happened to the city? How did it get to this position?
Well, it got to this position.
Go up the stairs here, or what?
Yeah, we should go up the stairs. Well, the city has gotten to this horrific position because there's rampant drug problems. The government just loves to give handouts to everyone, no matter what. And let me be clear here, okay? To become homeless, to be living on the streets, you gotta be in like the worst position ever, because that means everyone has completely cut you out.
Yeah.
And here, you can't even walk without seeing like 5 homeless people at the same time. It's absolutely completely disturbing. It's gross.
Do you find a lot of young people leave the city? Like if they're young, bright, intelligent, that they just, if they can, they leave when they get the opportunity?
Yeah. All my friends are obviously young.
Yeah.
Because I'm young. And we all want to leave. That's the ultimate end goal here, is to leave. The downtown area is chronically dead. There's never any economic development. All the buildings are suffering and closing down.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is we're just in the mall, and all of these storefronts are empty. Just, I guess they're just gone out of business. So it's it's very strange. But also it's like I've seen that in Winnipeg. Almost every other building in downtown seems to be empty.
Yeah, it's empty. There's a lot of empty buildings, and that's because of high taxes, high regulation, and the city is just really mismanaged altogether. Like, they're constantly building these suburbs everywhere around the city, never in the city.
Right.
So the population, everyone who's normal, everyone who votes, they're all around the city. No one's actually in here.
I've heard from some people who say the mayor is a conservative and he is, cutting programs. Or I've heard that the mayor is actually taking the issues seriously in the inner city. I mean, you live here. What do you think of the mayor?
Mayor Gillingham is extremely useless. He's beyond useless. He is not a conservative. Right. He's not a liberal. He's just useless. It's very simple. Like, things have gotten worse under him, and it's because he does nothing. If there's a problem, there's something causing that problem, and if you don't address the problem, you don't try to fix it, guess what? The problem's gonna get worse.
Yeah. I've shown you the inner city and downtown, but I wanted to go see the nice part of town for myself and speak to locals about what they like about Winnipeg. So I went to Premier Wab Canoes Riding in Osborne Village to go find out. Do you like living in this city?
I do, yeah.
What do you like about it?
I mean, it's a small town, like relatively, everyone knows everyone. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel safe in Winnipeg?
I mean, about as much as you could any downtown area.
Right.
It's a whole Canada thing, I guess.
And do you feel like Winnipeg kind of gets a bad rap around the country? For at least, like, that's what people say. It's a dangerous place, but as I was saying to others, this stretch looks quite nice.
Honestly, like, I've been all over to Canada. It's worse than people say. I mean, it's not as bad as people say.
I see, yeah.
So, it's just how it is.
We're making a video about Winnipeg and want to know what you like about living in the city.
I actually don't live in.
You don't live here?
Yeah, I'm house sitting for a friend right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the city so far?
I do like the city. I like Osborne area. I like Corydon. I think they're both full of art and good places to eat.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Do you like Winnipeg?
I like Winnipeg.
What do you like about it?
It's friendly, easy to get around.
Nice. You think there's a misconception that Canadians have about Winnipeg?
Probably.
Yeah. What do you want to tell people that might think Winnipeg is a dangerous city? That's what is in the news, at least.
Why do you ask that question?
Well, I'm making a video particularly about crime in Winnipeg, but I'm trying to get the positive side and ask people who live here if they like it.
Crime is increasing in the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But still safe.
Right.
I mean, you think in Southdale you're at risk of maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even here.
It seems safe here.
Safe? I don't know.
Seems quite nice, actually.
They seem safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys like living in this city?
Yes, we do.
What do you like about it?
I like nature around. Like, what do you like?
I like that it's like big. Yeah.
Do you guys feel safe in Winnipeg? Because there's reports that say it's a violent city, but I have to say this neighborhood seems quite nice.
This neighborhood is better, but sometimes I think it's not really safe.
Right.
Yeah, like for me, for men, it's like a little bit safer, but for small girls, not really.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really safe here, I would say. Even Osborne. Yeah, it's nice neighborhood, but it's getting worse, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in downtown area as well, because I work in downtown, and I've been noticing that we've had a couple issues recently.
How's it going, man?
How's it going?
We're making a video about Winnipeg, asking people if they like living in the city. You like living in Winnipeg?
Oh no, man, I'm trying to move out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. What don't you like about the city?
Well, honestly, the poverty. I'm homeless right now myself.
Okay.
So really, I'm looking for a better place, and I don't have family here. So really, I have more family in Alberta, so I'll be moving there.
Right on.
In about 2 months' time.
You feel safe here at all?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you noticed about the city that you think is
You know what?
not
I'll
so
be
great?
honest. It's the young kids today.
Really?
It's really turning to a big difference in the sense of violence. And it's not something that I want to be around or my kids.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm trying to get us out of the city. And there's work out there for me too. So
For sure.
Yeah. So I'm looking for a better place and a better homestead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're here in Osborne Village, actually quite a lovely part of town. Just wanting to show that really the city is not all bad. I've shown you a lot of the downside of this city, but like the video I made in Ottawa, I want to stress that what you've seen is not the entire picture. But in reality, Winnipeg is Canada's most violent city, and it's important for Canadians across the country to see what is happening here, especially in the inner city. But we're not in the inner city right now. We spoke to locals on Main Street, on the north end of town, spoke to community experts who are on the ground trying to make this city safer, who haven't given up hope on the city. They feel optimistic about its future. And that's the way everyone should be looking at their communities. If we all had that same sort of outlook, this country would be a lot better than it is right now. If you like this content, you want to see more on-the-ground reporting, original journalism from across the country, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video with your networks, and like this video. Thank you all for watching.